And it's funny when we used to be able to do festivals.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be serving and people all of a sudden were like, "Hey, you're the guy on the can." And those are real people. They thought those were fake personas or whatever. So we had this thing going. I would be serving and someone would realize and I would just say, "Pat," and he would turn around and smile and I would show the can.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to All Beer Inside. Today we're in Sainte-Agathe-des-Monts in the Quebec region of Montreal, the Montérégie? Laurentide. So we're back in the Laurentide. And joining me today is Patrick and Bruno from Microbrasserie La Veillée.
Exactly.
Awesome. I'm so worried I was going to mispronounce that. So thank you very much for hosting us today. I really appreciate anybody who's willing to take time out of their schedule to speak about awesome craft beer. I know I've had your beers before, so I'm looking forward to trying anything that's old and new at the same time.
Great.
Let's start with a beer.
Yeah, first one we're going to taste is Mars-Elle.
Okay.
It's Monique Edition.
Okay.
First stop on the can. You can see it. It's my mom.
Mm-hmm.
It was brewed for International...
Women's Day?
Yeah, exactly. It's a lager, old barrel age.
Nice.
In gin barrel and in apple brandy.
Cool. I look forward to this. I know the gin barreling is becoming a big thing in Quebec because Quebec has a lot of gin.
Yeah.
So, hey, as we do, a toast.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh. Yeah, I'm getting the nose is all that brandy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's just first sip. It's deceiving because it's not like a sudden punch to the face. It's nice and mellow.
And a bit in the longer note, you get the gin.
Yeah. The juniper from the gym.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. I'm quite impressed. I don't think I've had that beer either, so that's...
No, it was out this year for the first time.
Okay, that's right.
Next year is going to be another edition, another beer, another brew. Totally, another woman on the can. So yeah.
Awesome. So what's the beer story? What brought you two together you created La Veillée, and Bruno, what brought you on board? So what was the birth of La Veillée, and then Bruno, what brought you in?
Well, the birth was 4 years ago, so we're starting our 5th year. In the beginning, I was alone, so for the first 2 years, all doing everything by myself, brewing, mopping, everything.
Accounting, delivering, he was doing everything. Everything.
After that, my girlfriend came in for a year, and then Bruno joined us last year as a brewer, because I was not able to do it anymore. And I'm pretty happy he's in. Yeah.
Well, a brew, like you said, brewing, mopping, delivery, accounting, I'm assuming you're working 80-hour weeks at that point, at least.
Yeah.
So that's a lot on somebody.
Yeah, and since we're moving somewhere in the summer, we have to take care of the new project, so I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. So Bruno, what brought you on board with La Veillée?
Actually, I've known Patrick for, I think it's almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we used to work together in totally other domain.
Yeah.
We started home brewing together, actually. We were brewing each on our side, and we did a home brewer all grain one-day class together. We were doing 20 liters, in the buckets. And then this guy bought 100 liters for home, which became 200 liters.
Yeah.
So we stopped brewing at my place and his place. Anyway, and it was almost 2 years ago when there was the first confinement. I was working construction. I was a general contractor.
Okay.
So we shut down.
Yeah.
And I was calling up this guy. How are you doing? He's like, we're swamped, everyone's drinking. So I started coming over like once every week or once every 2 weeks to give him a hand. And then Aurélie and Pat were like, would you like to stay with us forever? Who wouldn't say yes?
Yeah. It's, let's twist that arm a little. Oh, it hurts so much to twist my arm to do this job. So, that's amazing. And you're both self-taught, or did you do a course or school or anything like that?
Well, first was self-taught, like the basics. And I took a 1 week industrial course, I say, to get the basics. Because starting from home brewer, there's some stuff that you do, but when you go professional. Than
Yeah.
There are more parameters that you have to control. So yeah, I did that for a week, and then it was a hard practice for a year here, just getting touch with every aspect of it. So yeah, that was.
I mean, it's got to be a huge change from your garage to kind of an industrial area, and then eventually, from the sound of it, a more open kind of pubish type thing you're going to be doing, or is it still going to be more industrial?
No, we're going with a pub.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're still doing cans and distributing. But yeah, we're gonna have a tasting room and.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love hearing that. Within 5 years you're already expanding and you're like ready to just keep going, and just seeing your full can lineup 5 years in, it's quite the selection you've already come up with. So.
Yeah, but that's actually what you saw was just what's available right now, because we still have more that are not on the shelf there. But yeah, it's an expansion, but we're still gonna stay small.
Yeah,
we're not gonna double our production, or we're gonna stay with the same.
Because it's something we like, it's still the home brewer setup, but in 500 liters. I mean, it's open vessels. We actually, mix it up ourselves. And I did the 4-week IBQ training for Institut Brassicole du Québec in last October. And we visited like 2 industrial setups. And I like the open vessel. I like seeing the mash. I like mixing it myself, so we're trying to keep that vibe going.
La Veillée, it's a pretty unique name. Translated in English, it's the night before, roughly.
Yeah.
What made you decide on that brewery name?
Well, for me, beer social. I have to drink with friends, and so La Veillée du jour de l'an, La Veillée sur le bord d'un feu de camp. It's always social events. So that's how it started, and then on our cans, it's all friends and family. Yeah. So you might notice this one is Bruno.
And this one is himself.
My mom, friend from elementary school. It's just friends and family. So it's the gang part of beer that I love the most. So I love beer. But drinking with friends is always more fun.
So I was 5 years in. Even before the pandemic happened, any roadblocks or difficulties just from finding location, finally just, that's it, I'm opening a brewery, licensing issues, any kind of major roadblocks or difficulties creating the La Veillée brand?
Well, from the beginning, everything went smoothly. It was finding a place here, because we're in an incubator.
An industrial area.
Yeah, so we got help from the CDE, which is the Corporation de Développement Économique. They help us on accounting, on planning everything. So that went smooth. The roadblock we're getting, it's now. Yeah. Because we're moving, and we're actually supposed to move last September. Okay. But the building's not ready. So so that's a major roadblock now. We're supposed to get the building this week, and now it's more like in July. Yeah. So it's moving forward every week. So that's a major block that we're getting, and the price of the moving just went crazy up.
I find when I could go to the brewery, sit down on a terrace, it's a little more money forward to you guys, not going through a store, but still there. You don't have to. I don't know if you use Bucket or any of those guys as a distributor, or you just deliver yourselves.
Well, for what's out of the region here, we're going with Distributeur Brew. Okay. They're doing a fantastic job, but so it helped during the pandemic to get the production out. But local has been really, really good for us in the past 2 years. Yeah.
Any local pubs looking to pick you guys up because I know, when you own a pub, obviously if a big brewery is going to pay for your lines, you're going to do that. Yeah. But are any local pubs like, hey, can you bring your beers in because this isn't selling as well anymore? Because you're talking about supporting local. Who's supporting you local in here?
Well, we got IGA and all the stuff. But we had a restaurant in Lac Supérieur, and we are doing collaboration with a restaurant in Val-David. They've been there for a long time. Now, with the Molson problem, shortage, and we're getting a bit more calls from locals that had a contract with Molson. So they're like, well, we're missing beer. Can you put some in? Yeah. and that's good. But it's not necessarily because they want to get with us.
You gotta keep customers happy.
Yeah. Just they're missing beer, so.
Yeah, I have a family friend. She works at a restaurant, and she's like, "Well, we're running out," so I called Alchemist, and they fulfilled our order within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "That's great. You're supporting a local Quebecois company. You're not paying shareholders. You're supporting a real company."
Yeah. And keep it afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. You want to
talk about the Patriote?
Oh yeah, the Patriot.
Okay.
It's the theater here. So before the pandemic, they were with Molson. They did some renovation, and then afterward they went with us. So they have all our beers.
Nice.
Well, 6, 7, 8 of them.
Yeah.
And we brew a beer for them.
Cool.
They have their own beer. It's not on the table. I can show you later. So that's really good. Really
I like
good.
that.
And we're working on some partenariat with when I'm gonna be open. We're gonna work together.
Yeah.
And it's not only I'm selling them beer. They're gonna do some stuff. So, So that's great.
The Patriote is the first beer we brew with grains from Quebec.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all Quebec.
It's all Quebec ingredients, and I think we're going towards that slowly in all the products.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, outside of like mostly hops, because hops have to come from everywhere else. It's really like, can you stick with local ingredients? Can you stick with Quebec grains? Can you stick with Quebec malts? Or even Ontario, like even if you stay within Canada is the way I see it, is as long as you're supporting fellow Canadian companies, that'd be great. So I was going to say, let's try beer number 2 here.
Beer number 2, it's me, Pat.
I'm slow. I need to catch up.
Yeah. It's me. It's Pat 2.
Yeah.
There was a Pat 1. Pat 1 was a smash.
Okay.
We stopped doing it. Pat 2 is a sour.
Okay.
Raspberry blackcurrant.
Nice.
Sour. So let you taste.
Awesome.
Cheers.
A toast. Cheers. Ooh. Yeah, see, that's not like the sour punch to the face. It's nice and balanced. That's what I'm always worried about now is some guys just over souring, and I'm just like, I don't like this. Like, this is not enjoyable beer. Yeah. When it came to your naming, obviously family and friends and stuff like that, that's great. What made you decide that and not going with, here's our sour, here's our IPA, or some weird, crazy names with them?
Well, like I said earlier, it was friends and family are like beer drinking.
Yeah, so the social aspect.
Yeah, the social aspect. But the first beer we brewed was Jean-Fred.
Okay.
And actually is a friend when I was like 7.
Okay.
So it's a whole friend. And we were at my place drinking beer that I brew at my place, looking for, I don't know, a concept or for the brewery, and we're like talking, drinking. And then at the end, we like, we should go for like first name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then he asked me, if you do it, I want this beer to be Jean-Fred. So actually, the first beer that was designed is Jean-Fred, and he was drinking with me when, like, it's the beer we were drinking together.
Cool.
When we decided to go with the brand. So, it's all, the social aspect of it.
Yeah, cool.
And it's funny when we used to be able to do festivals.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be serving, and people all of a sudden were like, "Hey, you're the guy on the can." And those are real people. They thought those were fake personas or whatever. So we had this thing going. I would be serving, and someone would realize, and I would just say, "Pat," and he would turn around and smile, and I would show the can.
Yeah, it brings the cans and everything to life. It's not just a name out of nowhere. And the people like Jean-Fred that are on the beer, there's story behind it. They're not on a can just because they're on a can.
Yeah.
The beer is related, or like the only can that's not, there's no story around it. It's me. Like, I'm Pat.
Yeah.
But
you're the whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you are the story of La Veillée when you think about it. So.
But it's not a beer like the sour. I wanted to do one, but I have no friend that got related or story with it. So I went with Pat 2. If I do another beer that I don't have anyone with name I can put on, I'm going to put it Pat 3 and go for it on it. So,
Who does your can art?
It's a friend, Lilian. He's an industrial designer,
Okay, yep.
and an artist. He's do sculptures and stuff. So. and he's doing art.
And you're like, hey, I need can designs. Here's my idea, and then, okay, give me a couple of days, and I'll create a bunch for you. So.
Yeah, I'm just sending pictures, and then he sketched it, and then we put them on.
Nice and simple, and again, you're supporting a local friend.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it's not for free. I'm sure you pay him. So
well,
maybe even if it's just in beer, yeah, that's it. Hey, that's the way I see it. I get paid in beer for when I help friends move and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it's usually mass. And I'm at the age where I don't help friends move anymore. So, but before it was, oh, here's some pizza and beer. Cool, I'm happy. You don't have to give me money. We did all this work. We're all gross and sweaty. Let's just sit down in your new backyard because Quebec moving day is coming up, as I call it.
Yeah.
And it's just sit down in the backyard. It's usually nice and just drink some beer, eat some pizza, and
building
have
memories.
some fun. Yeah, exactly. So that's awesome. So you already mentioned the first beer you brewed, which is great for here, the Jean-François. But when you first started yourself, good or bad, what was that first beer that you tried to brew?
With a stout, Imperial Stout.
Oh, wow.
Well, actually, I started drinking from stout. I didn't like lager or whatever. I started with Guinness. And then when I came back, because I tasted it in Ireland, when I came back, there was La Barberie, there was Saint-Ambroise that was doing stouts. Not that much more than that. So I started brewing because there was no stout on the market. Well, not enough.
Yeah.
So, so I did, Vincent was actually the first beer that I brewed for me.
Okay.
Imperial Stout. So we're going to taste it later.
Yeah. Bruno, what was your first home beer brew?
At the time, I was in the IPA craze. So obviously I started home brewing IPAs, which are kind of easy to brew because you put so much
hops to balance
there. I was going to say houblon. Yeah. But now, I mean, I'm the kind of guy that I don't believe in summer beers or winter beers or whatever. I'll have a Pat Deux in February when it's really cold outside. So, yeah, I went through the IPA craze for about a year, and then I discovered there were other flavors, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
I still like IPAs. Not the kind that, your cheeks go in, but...
Yeah, or the why is my throat on fire?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the IPAs it's just what everybody wants right now. Even, there's people going back to American style and English IPAs where it's more malt forward and not as hoppy. And it's still like, as long as it's, like I said, as long as it's not burning my throat, I'm happy. So if it's nice, it's just, a couple of days ago, I went on a long walk and I stopped at a terrace and I'm like, oh, that looks nice and juicy. And I just took a long walk. So I'll have a glass of water and I'll have the nice juicy IPA and then I'll walk home.
Well, it's a nice, I'll call it an entry beer, from someone who only drank commercial beers.
Yeah.
They'll discover new flavors and then usually they'll go to something else. I remember when we used to do festival.
Yeah.
At the time, Patrick didn't have a New England IPA in his lineup. So people were like, do you have an IPA? We would have the Jean Fred.
Yeah.
Which is an American Pale Ale.
Okay.
And we would have them taste other of our products, like Dave, which is a rye beer. And people were like, wait, this is good, You don't have an IPA and I like your products. Like Pat Deux is the beer for someone that shows up at your counter and says, oh, I don't like beer.
Yeah.
And taste this. They're like, hey, it's pink. And they taste it. Wow, I like this.
Things are coming back and you mentioned festivals. Are you doing Laval this year or?
No.
No?
We're only doing Sainte-Adèle.
Okay.
As a festival, but we're still doing stuff here. There's a farmer market that we're doing every Friday.
Okay.
We're going, it used to be a festival in Saint-Faustin, but now with the pandemic, they just went down and then they're trying to get it up. So there's 2 days, we're only 2 breweries with shows on Saturday, first and 2nd July. So we're doing this. So we're keeping it local. We'd like to go out.
Yeah.
But with the production we have, so getting and obviously the staff we have, we're 3, so doing all the work, going to festivals, it's a hard weekend. So we're keeping it.
Because we brew around 4,000 to 5,000 liters a month.
Okay.
In good.
More 3,500, 4,000.
3,500, 4,000,
Yeah.
Oh, I was trying to, boost my production.
No.
So, I mean, like Mondial, you were talking about it. For us, it would be like a couple of months of preparation to just do the weekend, and then we have nothing left. So,
I mean, I know the Mondial is because it's downtown Montreal. Yeah. It's the most popular one. It's the last few years. And I've been told by other breweries it's not really financially beneficial for you to do the Mondial. No. Which I understand. Like, that makes sense to me. I understand if you're there and you're new and you're trying to get your name out, but after that, if your name's out, why take the financial hit?
Well, actually, I don't think that any festival is really, you're not in it for the money. Yeah. You're in it to get your name out, have promotion. People taste your products, because, I mean, you need a team of a couple of people. You're running for 12 to 16-hour days, but it's amazing. I mean, the contact. I miss that contact. People. You're pouring pleasure to people.
Yeah, that's why I will say Laval had become my favorite festival to go to, because I could take the bus and metro to Laval. Yeah. And then it's, if I want to stay out there, I could go to the people who created Laval, is lesinsulaires now. Yeah. So I can either go there or I could just go home. Or I could go back downtown because the metro's there. There's a convenience, and it's the same thing with the Mondial. It's convenience downtown, and if I get bored of it, I could go to Pub Brewski, I could go to Les Gris, I could go to Brewtopia. There's options. Yeah. I don't have to go to my old local bar when I was a teenager young adult, and drink there.
But if Sainte-Agathe is up in October, you have to be there. It's really a nice festival.
My sister told me that the second largest Oktoberfest in the world is in Kitchener, Ontario, so we might have to actually go to that instead.
Well, next year.
Yeah. There's time. Things are, knock on wood, hopefully we keep going this way with the pandemic, down and not back up again. And I need to do something more than just sit in my room. As much as it felt safe to be on Zoom and speak with friends and share beers, it's the social aspect of finally being out there again, hitting a terrace or going inside. And if the terrace is too full, at least the inside is empty because everybody's on the terrace, and at least I can do that. So let's try beer number 3 here.
Yeah, beer number 3. It's called Les Jumelés. Mm-hmm. It's actually a collaboration we did with a microbrewery in France. It's called Les Jumelés because the Sainte-Agathe-des-Monts is jumelé with Lagny-sur-Marne in France.
Sister city.
Yeah, sister city. Yeah. There's a brewery there. Mm-hmm. The town here got us in contact. So we brew the same beer.
That's cool.
The same day. We took it out. They got the same branding on their bottles. It's a red ale with buckwheat and maple syrup.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I always get Sarrasin. I'm like, I know it's a wheat, but I don't know which wheat. Because, it's the same thing as I'm not 100% bilingual. Obviously, guys, you and I are, but there's still like the mutual communication of both. So, and érable, if you don't know what that is as Quebecer, then there's a problem.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, it's nice. Cheers. A toast. Yeah, the maple is that nice level. We recently interviewed La Croix Cidery.
Yeah.
And they made a maple cider. And I was like, it's the same. It's that right level of maple. It's not like too sweet where you're like, oh God, I'm going to get diabetes. It's that right level of sweetness. Mm.
And the buckwheat is just...
Yeah, it's the same. They're not really fighting my palate to see who wants to win. It's nice and clean.
They're dancing together.
Yeah, that's amazing. I look forward to when you guys have your tap room. I don't know if you're going to go more industrial style or kind of like relaxed area. So what's kind of the plan for the pub?
I think it's going to be a relaxed...
Or tasting room, I should say.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a pub. It's 45 places with a small kitchen.
Okay.
But I wanted to be like, come in my backyard. Come to my place.
Yeah.
So it's going to be relaxed, picnic tables, and... the bar is going to be like all wood, so it's not. It's kind of industrial because you're going to see the piping and everything, but it's still cozy. Come at my place.
Sounds like you're almost going to have a previously interviewed whippersnapper. It sounds like you're going to be where his pallets he used from his fence that fell in his backyard. He just made his flights out of his flight wood out of that. So it sounds like you're going for that concept where family friendly, you just get together, maybe have trivia nights at some point when you guys are up and running, and just doing fun local things and bringing people in from this region, because your cabin region too, where people like myself I'll drive an hour north, rent a cabin for the weekend, I'll go kayaking, but when I sit by the campfire overnight, I'll be drinking your beer.
Yeah. So that's where we're going, and we're working on having shows, like mostly in the off season. Yeah. But it's gonna still be the same concept, like one guitar guy around the fire. Yeah. It's not gonna be like a band or just one guitar guy around the fire.
Cool.
And the way I see it, I mean, I've been seeing this guy scratch for a year now, waiting on the new pub.
Yeah.
And what I see is the excitement of when he was developing his first recipes. The pub is going to be like a lab. Yeah. Where, you know, Patrick's going to say, okay, we're going to take that base and try, you know, these herbs or whatever in it, and it's going to give us some flexibility on the offer.
Yeah. I like that.
And it's going to be almost feeling like a festival. Like you get the feedback straight from the people.
Nice.
You just pour, hey, what do you think of that? It's the contact with the social event. We don't have it here, obviously. So
it's also bringing the people back out too. The people who are maybe a little still trepidatious about going out and doing something. It's, come on, we're open now. Things feel safer right now, so let's go. Come on back out. So, is there planning on having some sort of food, beer kind of matching menu, where if you're gonna get this burger, we suggest these 3 beers? Like, is there gonna be something like that?
Not maybe, but it's not like the main thing. Yeah. We're doing desserts with beer, so it's gonna be a match. We're working with a local chocolate factory or producer, so we're going for a pairing with chocolate. But the rest would be because, sometimes there's pairing, but there's also taste. Yeah. So if I don't like IPAs, even if I suggest IPA, it's not gonna be like, wow, this match. Yeah, but I don't like beer. So, letting the people like, you like a sour? Okay, the sour would fit with this and this. But if you like with this, go for it. It's not a matter.
Yeah, because I always think of the beer market menu where it's like, well, we suggest these 3 beers, but these are only suggestions. Drink what you want. But and that is like the gastronomie now is very like, you should have a lager with this type of food. Oh, if it's spicy food, you should have an IPA because that cuts into the spiciness and this. And it's just, it's somebody who's trying to learn more things and expand my knowledge, and even my palate alone, I'm like, it's just too much sometimes. And maybe I just want the lager with the tacos.
That's it. It's a matter of taste, too.
So you mentioned your collab with the sister city from France. Are there any other collabs you've done?
Yeah, we did one with Locomotive.
Okay.
Before they were Locomotive, they were Berthierville before that. We did a sour stout, which was great. We're doing, there's one guy that comes 4 times a year. Well, actually, comes more than often than that. 4 times a year to brew. Is Terroir Aventure.
Okay, yeah.
So he's doing outdoor stuff. In the winter, how it started, in the winter they were doing TDL, which is Traversée des Laurentides. Yeah. They start from Sainte-Adèle, they go to Tremblant.
The snowboarders?
Cross-country.
Yeah. So they're doing this. He wanted to do a pale ale with épinette, pousse d'épinette.
Pine?
Yeah. So we started doing this. He had the recipe. Now he's doing one in spring, summer, and fall. So that's pretty good. We're collaborating also, not only brewing beer, but like rebranding. We're working with Village du Père Noël. So they have 2 of our beer in their cans. Okay. So that's pretty cool.
So there's going to be a Santa Claus beer then for the winter, right?
Yeah. Well, actually for the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, Village du Père Noël is in the summertime.
Yeah. That's cool.
Santa's working the rest of the year.
He can't just work a month.
He can't drink in the winter.
No, exactly. So he's so busy.
Yeah.
Especially for 2 very, very busy days. But
And apart from beers, we work together with Canvas. I don't know if you heard of them. They're Saint-Adolphe. They started like 2 weeks apart from us. We're buying grain together and like working together. Last summer, they had problem with their seamers, so we gave them our seamer.
Okay,
Our seamer,
Yeah.
Cool.
So for
Nice.
I don't know, 10, 25 times. I don't know. They came here, get it, seam their can, and then came back, and then we do our seaming. And so
Cool.
there's a lot of working together.
No, I love hearing that. Any dream collaborations, just not even just Quebec, let's say Ontario, the Maritimes, going overseas again with another brewery, like
We love Gourmet Sauvage,
okay.
which are they are pickers. They pick stuff from all around Quebec.
Yeah.
So that would be good.
Cool.
With boreal herbs and spice and everything. That would be good. And actually, I wouldn't say like a dream brewery. It's more like people.
Yeah.
Like I would love to brew with Michael, Fizet de Maelstrom.
Oh yeah. Okay. Maelstrom. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to. And people like just Noir et Blanche is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Just the people more than the brewery. So yeah.
Awesome. You want to try number 4 here?
Yeah. Number 4, Bruno. So it's buckwheat,
Yeah.
honey, brown buckwheat honey.
Okay.
There's a pun in French. It's une brune au miel. Bruno miel.
Okay. Awesome. As we do, a toast. Another one, sweetness isn't like overpowering in any way. Nice, well and balanced. It's
Clean.
Yeah, it's nice and clean.
I think that's the challenge right now. It's, there's something written on the can. Is it a fruit? Is it a flavor? And you have to deliver that flavor, but without over-delivering it.
Yeah.
I mean, when I try a beer and it says cranberry on it, and you're tasting it and say, okay, it might be there, but I don't like that.
Yeah.
And at the other end of the spectrum,
It's,
when it says bière épinette or whatever, and you drink it, it's like I'm licking a tree.
Yeah. No, I know there was.
So that's the challenge of getting that balance in.
I know this summer, just before the pandemic, I had gone to St. Buck and I tried a peppery puts in with a jalapeno beer, and I'm like, I'm dying! Oh my god! Because it's pepper on top of jalapeno, and I'm like, oh well, maybe the beer will help get rid of the peppery.
No. Worse.
Yeah, so it's finding that right balance, and if it were well balanced with like a tinge of jalapeno, that would have been one thing, but it was just
in your
a
face.
smack in the face. And on top of that, I'm eating another like hot food. It's not like Carolina Reaper hot is like a peppery puts in, so it's too much. And I don't go out and eat suicide wings all the time because I don't enjoy the flavor. I'll have buffalo because it's that right level of spiciness that I like.
Yeah.
And it's not like
Over the top. And
where I'm trying to chug milk to get rid of the burn. I watch Hot Ones and I'm like, I don't get how these guys do it. But that's me though. I enjoy flavor. I don't want to punish myself for fun anymore. I'm not in my 20s. I'm not trying to be my own version of Jackass. I just can't do it anymore. So we mentioned earlier, so clearly you're very, very busy, but when there's actually time to take a vacation, but you can focus it on beer. So if you've never been to, let's say, Vermont or Seattle or Boston, like what's a beercation you'd love to take if you have the time?
I would like to go like Ontario because aside from small pony barrel and the other one pale beyond the pale, that's the only one I tasted. So I would like to go around because I heard a lot from there, and I didn't have any time, so that would be more of it.
Bruno, yourself, any even just Europe, or I know South Africa has a crazy emerging beer scene.
The older I get, the more local I get.
Okay.
Patrick and his family is a bit like us. Like he has a van camper. I have like a little trailer with the kids and my girlfriend, and we just road trip Quebec. We're going to Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean in 2 weeks, and I contacted the breweries there, and I sent like 12 emails, and I think 11 has said, yeah, sure, come over and check us out, and the 12th was like, well, we're sold, so I'd like to get you. Anyway, so right now in the state of mind I am, I'm more into visiting what's around us. I mean, we have great breweries in Quebec, and the vibe is just amazing. I mean,
And
I was writing from this small brewery in Sainte-Agathe. I'm like, hey, I'm a brewer there. Can I visit
Yeah.
your Riverbend was like, sure, come over, no problem. So
yeah, and there's so much that we don't get here.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, Saint Pancras.
Yeah.
Well, I know they exist, but I haven't tasted anything because here we don't get it. So
Well, it's the same thing with Oval. Every time I heard there's a bottle, like one bottle available somewhere in Montreal, it's sold by the time I even read it on Facebook. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean,
I think Oval is going to start selling NFTs.
Yeah, it might. I mean, it's. I know somebody who drives up there, and I'm like, "Oh, you're going up? Can you bring me beer back?" He's like, "No, I can bring myself beer back because that's in my trunk." I'm like, "Oh, come on, dude." So I've always said like that would be. You guys mentioned RVs. That would be an ultimate road trip. Is you start in St. John's, Newfoundland, and you work your way across Canada to Vancouver, head up to the territories, and work your way back, and just. As a drinker, just get a driver or find a designated driver because you never drink and drive, and just find that driver to either bring you or take your time. And especially if you're in an RV, you know, I see them in LaSalle all the time.
yeah,
Where the RV's parked at Walmart. Just find a Walmart, park it.
and even I presume if you talk to your brewery,
Yeah.
you can sleep in the parking lot.
I was going to say the same thing.
You just park yourself there, drink, go back to sleep, drive tomorrow morning.
I'm going to Saguenay, and when I did my Brewers course, I studied with someone working at the Microbrasserie Lac Saint-Jean. So I was like, man, I have to go there and brew with you. And she was like, yeah, sure, park your trailer in our parking. You can spend the night there. You can spend the week there.
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah,
As long as you're not in as long as you're not going to Pub Brewski, because you're not going to find parking. But, you know, or Brutopia, you're not going to park on Crescent. It's just.
but you can park somewhere near a metro and then do it.
Exactly. And that's what I said is, as long as you're not drinking and driving, that's the important part.
Yeah.
So.
Or sleep in a Canadian Tire.
yeah.
Canadian Tire, Walmart, wherever. So. Big box
last summer, I had an alternator problem with the kids and everything, and we had to sleep in the Canadian Tire parking lot. And the grandparents were like, "No, you can't have the grandkids." And the kids were like so happy in Saint-Léonard. You know, we're by the highway. The kids were so happy.
As long as they have something to do, right?
And we had a cooler with beer.
Yeah.
So I mean, my
You're
girlfriend
good.
and I were fine.
Yep. Here's juice. Go do stuff. Dad's gonna drink a beer. So. Well, the alternator's getting fixed to Canadian Tire. So, yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so obviously somebody comes here, or when your pub's open, buys a bunch of your beers. Any friends, breweries in the area you suggest for people to try?
There's Count Baz, but they're like us. They don't have a pub or anything.
Yeah.
Just go there and grab some stuff. La Maison du Brasseur at Tremblant is great. Really, really small brewery. They're doing 100-liter batch, like almost like what I had as a home brewer. Great stuff. There's Paris Roulant in Val-David and Saint-Arnould in Tremblant, which are more older brewery. That would be it. Like around here, that's most of them.
Yeah. It's just like I said, you know, we're about supporting local, so it's really like what friends, you know, come here, get a flat or 24. And then go there and buy a 24, and then go by there. And, you know, whatever you can purchase reasonably and bring back, and just go support friends and keep us going. So
there's something, I don't know if they're going to do it again this summer, but last year they tried to do la Véloroute Brassicole. So it was with Le Petit Train du Nord, the bike path. It started from Boréal, Mirabel, if I'm not mistaken.
Boréal,
and went up to Mont-Laurier, Le Lièvre. Obviously last year, it didn't pick up, but I don't know if they're going to do it again this summer. If people are cyclists, you know, it's a great way to
because that
bike and brew.
That's been my thing. Like in Quebec, is we only reopen stuff on Saint Jean, and by that time it's already too hot to be on a bicycle on like the tar streets, and most of our roads in Quebec, because of our winter conditions, are not great to be on. So you want to be there right between where. The potholes begin and they fix them. You want to find like right there. So.
And before the bugs.
Yeah. And if I might add, it's not a brewery, but La Distillerie La Manufacture, which is like at the opposite of the building here. They're doing great stuff.
Cool.
So that would be a venue that would like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about collaborations, and
Yeah.
Monique is a collaboration with the distillery.
Okay.
The apple brandy and the gin barrel have come from them. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as I mentioned, this more breweries, more cideries, more vineyards, more distilleries. It's really hard to keep up some days with.
Yeah. And they're trying to like work together.
Yeah.
Like distillery are working with brewery. We're looking for there's a vineyard up north. They're growing their grapes in greenhouse.
Yeah.
So we're looking to work with them for some beer. So it's not only like brewers, it's just like everyone.
Yes. To me, it's the local community or the craft culture sticking together and doing things. And I've been lucky enough to interview one of the main beer writers in Ontario, and even he's having trouble keeping up with just his own province. And he's one of the biggest beer writers in Ontario. So it's in Canada and the US. I know in Vermont, before the pandemic, there was 63 breweries, and now there's 72 2 years later. So that's 9 breweries in a state the size of Montreal. It's insanity. Let's try that last beer.
Yeah. So it's Vincent. Barrel aged and bourbon.
I am a big fan of bourbon.
And don't forget, I mean, this guy started brewing because he liked stouts and imperial stouts. So
yeah, it's always I always like I got the bourbon. What do you mean that beer's 10%?
Sorry for the.
No, that's fine. Awesome. A toast. Oh yeah, that right hint of bourbon that I like. Fantastic talk, fantastic beers today. I'm very happy you both took time in your schedule to speak with us. Let the audience know where they can find you.
Well, you can find it here at the brewery. It's the first stop. And we like to see you guys. There's a bunch of sales places around Quebec. You can find them on our website. Well, obviously there's Facebook, Instagram. Microbrasserie La Veillée. You can find us everywhere. That's about it.
Awesome.
And eventually a pub.
We'll definitely.
We've gone from soon a pub to eventually a pub.
It's been wild. I mean, we interviewed Third Moon when we were finally allowed to travel to Ontario again, and they're like, "Well, the pandemic somewhat helped because we weren't ready when we said we were supposed to be ready." And now it's like we're shut down. And we have 6 months to do stuff that we weren't. And then most guys are like, "This sucked," and I agree. This sucked. Nobody wanted this. There's some people who act like we wanted a pandemic. No, nobody wanted a pandemic. We didn't want our economy to collapse. We didn't want everything. No, this sucks. But
it helped in some ways.
Yeah, so, I mean, let's do what we can to keep each other going and, let's, stay out there, stay safe, do your best not to catch the virus. If you have elderly family, don't give it to them. It's just, that's what
basics
we're trying to do. And just, let's be better humans in the end.
Yeah, we mostly have to learn from what we went through, I think. Not just go back to our old habits.
No, there can't be a normal again. There has to be a new normal, as I say. If you're sick, stay home. Because back then it was, when I first started the job that I work now in pharmaceuticals, my first week of training, I was sick. Like maybe I should stay home, but I'm also learning a new job, so I can't stay home. And now it's, if I were training this new job, well, thankfully I work from home now, but if we were still in the office environment, if I was sick, I'd be like, I'm sick. That's it. I don't have any rapid tests at home. I'm not going to come in there and give you COVID, and then you give 5 people COVID, and then you give...
But that's with COVID, but honestly, gastro, you don't want to get it.
No.
Don't go to work if you have symptoms of gastro. Come on. The same
if you're sick, stay home.
I don't want to brew with gastro.
Maybe that's a new type of beer that would go on.
But it's the best tasting beer ever somehow.
You were talking about our local focus, and I think that's something that we have to learn from the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you're paying maybe more for craft beer than for commercial, but I mean, that money goes to people that are going to buy stuff that's eventually are going to buy stuff that you're fabricating or, your job depends. So I always say, I have a saying that I'm too poor to buy cheap.
Yeah.
So we have to think about that.
I mean, like I said, it's people are like, I'm never going to buy from overseas again. I haven't been buying overseas beer and gin or anything
there you go.
in a long time. Occasionally I'll still buy a bottle of Absolute, but that's because it's on sale and it's because I'm making mixed drinks and I don't want a high quality. That's something else. But when I want good quality, I will go craft, and that's it. So, awesome. So you'll find everything in the show notes, including the website. As for us, it's allbeerinside.com. At allbeerinside on all social media. And as I say at the end of all episodes, drink craft, not crap.